Everybody, and welcome to our second virtual workshop for 2021. My name is Michael Casale. I'm the Commissioner of the Niagara County Department of Economic Development, and I'm going to be presenting in this workshop some programs of our department and those of some of our other economic development partners. But I'd like to thank our presenters today before we get going. And they include Andrea Kleisik, who's the Assistant Director of the Niagara County IDA and my Deputy Commissioner, and Lynn Oswald, Director of the Small Business Development Center in Niagara. Donald Jablonski, Director of the Niagara County Department of Employment and Training. Franklin Shortino, District Director of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Lori Abinator, Senior Project Manager, Western Region Empire State Development. Dennis Martinez, Regional Coordinator for Business Engagement, Access VR. Thomas Tedesco, who is the Executive Director of the NFC Development Corporation in the City of Niagara Falls. Michael Zimmerman, Executive Director of Lumber City Development Corporation. Heather Peck, who's Vice President of the Greater Lockport Development Corporation. And Thomas Sy, who's the Coordinator for Economic Development in the Town of Lockport IDA. Just a reminder, you don't have to go crazy taking notes this morning. We're going to be sending you an email, which will include the slide deck that you're about to see from all of our presenters. And that slide deck will contain active links, so you can click on and reach out to any of the presenters. We'll also be sending you our Connections for Business publication in the mail. Before we begin our presentation, a couple of housekeeping items that we'd like to share with you. You're going to be muted throughout this presentation. If you have questions, please use the Q&A panel at the bottom of the screen, and we will answer your questions at the end of the program. If we can't answer all the questions in our allotted time, we'll follow up with you afterwards and make sure that you get the information that you need. Today's workshop is designed to give you an overview of the various programs that are out there. We'd be happy to schedule a one-on-one meeting with any of you to discuss any of our programs in a bit more detail. Just let us know in the Q&A panel if you'd like to set up a one-on-one, and we'll reach back out to you. Again, we're going to be recording this session, so you'll find it later on our website, I would assume. Right, Kathy? Let's see if she nods. She's nodding? Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's begin our presentations, and we'll start with Andrea Kleisik, who is the Assistant Director for the Niagara County Niagara County Industrial Development Agency. Andrea, take it away. Is Andrea on?
Mike, I think she's having some technical issues right now. I think let's come back to her.
Let's advance the slides, and we will come back to her. So we'll start with me. I'll give you a few seconds to advance the slides, Kathy. Thank you very much. There's my contact information. Again, you're going to be receiving a copy of the slide deck. So again, no need to go crazy taking notes. You know, it's been quite a year, and the pandemic has affected many businesses in our county and throughout the region. We felt the need to be a clearinghouse of sorts when it comes to COVID-19 assistance for businesses. All through the pandemic, we've been compiling information on a slew of programs that our Economic Development Alliance partners administer, as well as reopening guidelines in the state to assist you in conducting business in a safe manner for you, your staff, and your customers. The information is readily available at niagaracountybusiness.com. That's our website. And you click on that COVID-19 button, that red button that you see on our website. You'll hear a lot more details, especially some of the SBA programs from Frank Shortino, who's going to be talking with us in just a few moments. Another program that we administer is the Business Growth and Retention Program at Niagara County Economic Development. Prior to the pandemic, we met with, on average, 75 companies every year. We've stepped up our game with the pandemic, and this year we're going to be on target to reach out to at least 150 companies. If you would like our team to meet with you one-on-one in a retention team meeting setting, we can do it virtually. We can do it at your shop. We could do it here. We could do it any way you feel comfortable. All you need to do is fill out that questionnaire that you see on this slide, and we can send that to you. It's a fillable form, and we will make sure that we get back to you and set up a meeting ASAP. The Niagara County Department of Economic Development is also an official local affiliate data center under state contract with the New York State Department of Labor. We are a clearinghouse for a whole slew of data that would be valuable in your business planning process. The data includes, but it's not limited to, demographic, housing, income, educational attainment, means of transportation, etc. Any kind of data you need, we can get to you. All you need to do is email us or call us with the requested data. It's that simple, and we'll make sure that you get the data that you need. Again, I said just a few minutes ago that our Connections for Business publication, it has a listing of each and every one of our Economic Development Alliance partners, and that includes all the folks that you're going to be hearing from today. You will be receiving a copy of this book. I like to call it the Bible for anybody that's in business. Just keep it on your desk, and if you have questions, there's contact information and all types of information on every agency, and that does not only include the folks you hear from today, but utilities, chambers, and various other groups you'll find in this booklet. So when you get it, hold on to it, keep it on your desk. The Niagara County Legislature has created the Empower Niagara program. This is a low-cost power program for small businesses that don't qualify for the New York Power Authority's programs. On this slide, you see some of the eligibility criteria. You got to be located in Niagara County. This is a program that's exclusive to Niagara County, and you can't be double dipping and using this program along with NYPA low-cost power. Again, if you'd like to, if you think you're an electric intensive company, all you need to do is reach out to us and we'll help you figure that out and get you into the program. The New York Power Authority has low-cost power programs as well, including the expansion and replacement power programs and the Recharge New York programs. EP and RP have a minimum allocation of 100 kilowatts, and they are evaluated on job creation and capital investment. Applicants must be doing a project within the 30-mile radius of the Niagara Power Project at Lewiston and be making a long-term commitment to our region. That Recharge New York program is a statewide incentive program. Now you can click on these links to get more information on either one of these two programs. And finally, the EIC Open Sea PACE program, that's a unique financing program that channels private capital funding to industrial, commercial, and nonprofit building owners for renewable or energy efficiency type of projects or upgrades. Financing from EIC approved capital providers could cover up to 100% of the project cost. You can get more information on EIC Open Sea PACE by filling out a fillable form, and you'll find that fillable form again on our website, which is www.niagaracountybusiness.com. That's it for me. Now, I think Andrea is on. If you're there, Andrea Kleisik is the, thank you.
I'm here, Mike. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Andrea is the Assistant Director of the IDA. So Andrea, you take it away.
All right, thank you. Having some issues with the camera. Let me just, I don't think you guys can see me. So maybe that's a blessing. All right. So normally Sue Langdon does this presentation and I'm filling in for her today. I'm just going to go over, so the Niagara County IDA, the Industrial Development Agency, our authorizing legislation comes from General Municipal Law, New York State Article 18A, which was passed in 1969. A couple of years later, the NCIDA was created. When we were created, as you can see on this first slide, we have a pretty broad purpose and authority. Over the years, I think that we have narrowed that these authorities and purposes, and the ultimate goal is to attract new business to Niagara County and assist existing businesses with their expansions. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the incentives that the Niagara County IDA offers? We have three primary incentives. The first is the real property tax abatement, known as the pilot, the payment in lieu of tax. This is an abatement of property taxes for a defined period of time on the value added of the addition of the project. We have sales tax abatements on construction materials, sales tax abatements on machinery, equipment, furniture, fixtures, and the abatement of a mortgage recording tax. We abate 0.75%. We used to abate the full 1%. Now a quarter of that percent goes to the NFPA, and we can only abate 0.75%. Next slide, please. So why are tax incentives needed? These incentives encourage new investment and job creation for Niagara County. They make expansions for existing companies financially viable and help stabilize the existing tax base, and to help Niagara County and New York State stay competitive for retention and attraction and new investment. You know, I think a lot of you know I used to do a lot of Canadian marketing, and in speaking with hundreds of Canadian companies over the years, I can attest to the fact that they're constantly being contacted by several states across the United States. So when people ask, you know, why are these incentives needed, I can confidently say that we're constantly competing with a lot of other states across the country, and these incentives are absolutely necessary in order for us to stay competitive with some of the other states in the country. All right, next slide, please. All right, benefits to the community. What do these incentives, how do they give benefits back to the community? Well, they help us attract new investment, they create construction jobs, they create permanent jobs, and they ultimately increase the tax base. After these pilot payments are done being paid, or companies are paying on full assessment and paying property tax. Also important to mention that the incentive is only on the increased assessment. So in other words, if you have a vacant piece of land, the company will always pay what they're paying on that vacant piece of land. The pilot is always only on the improvement. So if you build a building, the pilot payment is on the building, but the portion of the land that was paying tax is still paying tax. So there's only an additional tax benefit to the community. They're not losing a tax base. We also contribute to creating permanent long-term jobs, and that has a multiplier effect on the rest of the local economy. So the types of projects that can be assisted through the Niagara County IDA, listed here are the different types of projects. We mostly work with manufacturing, warehouse, distribution. Because of where we are, we do have a lot of tourist destination projects. We define tourist destination by attesting that the majority of the visitors or customers come from outside the area. That's how that is defined. Let's see, it says qualifying retail. Generally speaking, we do not do retail projects unless they're in a tourist destination or a distressed census tract. Next slide. So how the Niagara County, the IDA, the incentives actually work, it is a lease-back transaction. So there's a misconception that the IDA actually takes title to property. We do not. We do not take ownership. We do not take title. We do a lease-back. It's nothing more than a legal paper transaction that enables us to take the property off Section 1 of the real property tax rolls, which is the taxable section, and put it on Section 8, which is the tax-exempt section. And then then the pilot payments are sent out through the different municipalities, the county, the city or town, and the school district. And they make their payments or their pilot payments, and the IDA works with those municipalities to ensure that the pilot payments are correct based on the incentive that they were approved by our board. Also noteworthy, special district taxes are not abated. So, can you go to the next slide, Kathy? Here is the guidelines according to the NCIDA's Uniform Tax Exempt Policy. We can be flexible on this, and we have been flexible, but as you can see, we have some standard, or, you know, some guidelines. We have our brownfield pilot, the industrial, commercial, retail, housing. So it starts off with, you know, the company paying 20% of their tax for 2 years, and 30, 40, and so forth, up until 100% taxation. And this is our guidelines, but we do have flexibility within these guidelines, and sometimes we do work with companies to adjust that these percentages, but not very often. Next slide, please. So sometimes when we meet with a company, it doesn't make sense for them to take advantage of a pilot. Usually either the project's not big enough, or maybe the admin cost and the legal cost would outweigh the benefit, or maybe not outweigh the benefit, but there's a lot of reporting requirements that we have to New York State, and it just wouldn't make sense for them to go through the paperwork and go through the application process and so forth to take advantage of the pilot. So we would recommend that if they're in a qualifying municipality, that they apply for 485B, which is the real property tax exemption, on improvements to the property that exceed $10,000. And we included a graph here to show, because not all the municipalities participate. So these are the participating municipalities and school districts. Next slide. And finally, this is just the 485, the abatement, and the percentage of incentive that the company can receive for a period, a defined period of 10 years. And this is, I would also point out that it's a very simple application. It's nothing more than going down to the city or town or village assessor and filling out the application and being granted the exemption. There's no cost to do this. So it's a really nice alternative for some of our smaller projects throughout Niagara County. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Really appreciate it. You know, Niagara County Community College has a great slogan. It's called, "It's a great place to start." And that's how we promote the Niagara Small Business Development Center. For any business, it's a great place to start, and you're in good hands with your Executive Director, Lynn Oswald. Lynn, take it away.
Thank you, Mike. We're a great place to start, and we're a great place to stick with as your business grows. So the first slide had my contact information. It had our website. You'll be able to reach out to us and see all the materials we have online. Go ahead. So what do? We are the Small Business Development Center, also known as SBDC, and we are a not-for-profit funded through the SBA, Small Business Administration, and through the State University of New York. My center is hosted by Niagara County Community College, and we've been doing this since 1984. We're free, we're safe, we're confidential. You can't beat it. And we really want to help you as you start the business, grow the business, and even as you look toward retirement. We are there for every single phase. My staff is amazing. They've been doing this a long time. They constantly receive training, especially this year. The training to keep up with the new programs has just been very intense. We have a research network available to us at no charge to you, where we can get you great customer information, demographic information, industry trend. We can get you lists of businesses complete with the contact information and their credit ratings. Our research library can just get you all kinds of materials to help you as you plan and as you market the business. We also have access to an entire statewide network. We're part of a statewide, nationwide team. And so if we don't have expertise in-house about green technology, we can reach out to someone in our network that has expertise on green technology, or medical equipment, or veterans assistance, procurement, you name it. We can reach out to experts that often have actually even worked in the fields that they're advising on. And then we are just connected to everyone in the community. The resources on this call this morning are amazing, and it's going to feel overwhelming trying to figure out who does what. All you have to do is reach out to one of us, and we will connect you with everyone else that you need to work with. So just make sure you remember one of us, and you'll get to all of us because we are very connected. Next slide. So just to brag for a little bit, like I said, we've been around since 1984, and in that time we have worked with 19,000 businesses. And you can see these are just some of the pictures. Because of confidentiality, I can't show you everything, but we've been given permission to share these. But you can see it's everything from retail to restaurants, wineries, breweries, agriculture, obviously very important for us, and manufacturing as well. We help them invest in their own businesses, we help them seek funding, and we help them create and save jobs. Next. What did we do during COVID? Well, we didn't sleep much, I can tell you that. We stayed open, we never shut for a day. My team immediately transitioned to online. We still are doing most of our contact through Zoom or through phone calls, but we did remain open. We worked with over 400 clients. We helped many of them get the funding that they needed, and we helped them save jobs. We also hosted numerous webinars. We're trying to keep everyone as informed as we can in this rapidly changing economic environment. Next. So some of the specialties, disaster assistance has obviously moved to the forefront, helping you plan, helping you determine your cash flow, helping you make the pivots that you've needed to make in this year, and still going forward, how we're going to react to what the new economy is going to look like. It takes constant planning, and we want to be there to help. Those of you who are in the very early planning stages, we can help you through the very basics. We can help you plan. We love planning, business planning, strategic planning. We love to talk planning. We have information on international trade, marketing, and then procurement. So as I said, we want to be there when you start. We want to be there as you grow. And then we want to be there as you look to retire or sell the business. And if anything good has come out of COVID, we have reconnected with so many of the businesses that we helped start 20 and 30 years ago. Being able to reconnect with them and see them get through this pandemic has really been a wonderful experience. I know it's very difficult for them, but being able to reconnect and be there for our local businesses has been very important. And next. So training program, big part of what we do. And we have a great 9-part series that's currently underway. Tonight will be class number 4. You can still join us. Tonight's the fun stuff. It's the social media. And we're able to do this program through our partners on this call, the IDA, Lumber City Development Corporation, Greater Lockport Development Corporation have all sponsored this program. And it's 9 free classes. If you miss the first 3, we can get you the recordings, and we cover everything from insurance to bookkeeping to social media, traditional marketing. We have a tax CPA who's going to talk, an insurance agent. So really good practical information. And then tomorrow, we have a free webinar, Business Survivability, being taught by a banker. And it's really looking at doing a SWOT on where you are right now, looking at your cash flow, your burn rate, and then being ready for the funding programs that are opening up. This is especially important for our shuttered venues who are applying right now, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks, our restaurants who will be applying for the restaurant revitalization. And there's going to be a workshop on Monday. I don't have it on this slide because it was just developed. Our Buff State office is doing something to help prepare restaurants for the documentation they're going to need for the restaurant revitalization. So if you're interested in that, go to give me a call, 210-2515, and we'll get you the information on that Monday program. And then the 20th, we're all being exposed to Teams. So we created a free training program to help you maximize how you use Teams. And if I can close with Frank from the SBA is going to be coming up soon and talking about all of the amazing funding programs that are available for small businesses. We are there to help you walk through all of those programs. We're very proud to be an SBA resource partner, and we want to be there as you seek the funding that you need to get your business through all of this. So give us a call. You should be working with us. Thank you.
Right, and it is a great place to start. And just
It
want to
is.
remind yeah, it is. We just want to remind everybody that Lynn's services are free, as are the services of our next presenter. Don Jablonski is the director of the Niagara County Department of Employment and Training. Don, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mike. I certainly do appreciate it, and welcome to all the participants here this morning. As Mike has said, I am the Director of Employment and Training. We are located in the Trot Access Center, which is at 1001 11th Street in Niagara Falls, New York. We are part of a nationwide network of one-stop employment and training centers, which are wholly funded by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. So the services that we do provide are free to everyone who wants to take advantage of them. Next slide, Ken. One of our primary things that we do is for training resources for businesses, because we do work with both businesses and for job seekers. Just a word of note is that we work with approximately 10 to 12,000 job seekers a year in a normal year. Obviously, with COVID-19, that number has reduced quite significantly, but we still have to date, we've already had 3,000 people come looking for work, which is amazing, seeing is that there are all kinds of mitigating circumstances that are existing right now. But for those of businesses that are looking to hire, please think of us first, because we will provide salary reimbursement up to 75% of any of the startup salary costs for additional training for a qualified new hire. And that's something that we can do up from 60 days to 6 months. That is for every new hire direct, that if somebody is already in your employ, we can do something called customized training. That is something that if you need to do a new machine, or if you have new software that you need to introduce to expand or enhance your business, we can pay up to 50% of the total training cost for the trainer to come on in and to do the training for that particular machine or software. Next. Other things that we do in terms of recruitment tools for businesses, that's one of our primary functions. We offer weekly recruitment events where you can meet up with 30 interested candidates or more to discuss your company's opportunities, even do pre-screen interviews, which we do now for several businesses in Niagara County. We have what's called the Professional Opportunity Developers Group, our POD group, that is a source for mid and upper management candidates, and they are ready and willing to come into an organization. For example, it could be an engineer or an accountant or a project manager, and we will do this for you at your direction, and we will not charge any headhunter fees. And we do have anywhere between 6 and 8 candidates at any one given time in multiple disciplines. We will post and promote any job openings, high profile locations, including our hot jobs page. It'll go out to the Western New York Job Bank, which in turn goes out to the New York State Job Bank. And then ultimately they will appear on places like Monster and Indeed and Glassdoor. So it spiders all the way out. And if you need national recruiting, we can certainly do that for you. Next slide, Kat. Additional recruitment tools include, we will review qualifications of local applicants through what we call Niagara's Talent. We have a resume database that we have, and it's always changing. So that's the type of thing that if we don't have something specific for you now. It could happen in a month that we may end up recruiting, because we constantly do that, and we use various different means like social media. We even have our own YouTube channel right now to start doing things. So we are taking advantage of technology. We will even start doing some virtual recruitments as soon as we get the kinks worked out of our software. Podcasts are another thing that we would want to do, and we will feature businesses through our podcasts. We'll do open interview sessions as needed to meet your staffing demands. And we'll even do pre-employment literacy or skills testing, which we do for several organizations in Niagara County right now. So we can custom tailor things that to your specific needs, and we can recruit the candidates that you need to be successful. I know that right now it's kind of tough because there are 3,000 jobs open across Western New York that just can't be filled. And those are just estimates. I think that it's higher, but that's something that if they want to pin a number on it, 3,000 is still a significant number that go unfilled because of the skills gap that exists today. So thanks. And
Thank
thank
you,
you, everyone.
gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Frank, take it away.
Yeah, it's up. Frank Shortino's next up. He's the district director of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Frank, the floor is yours.
I appreciate it. I don't see it. The other slides?
Yep, your slides are up.
I don't see it on my screen. There we go. Okay. Anyway, this tells you that the new act that was signed by President Biden is in effect now. It's called the American Rescue Plan Act. It's been passed by Congress, signed by the president, and if you want any information, you see at the bottom of the slide, SBA.gov, link for the most up-to-date information. So next slide, please. This is where we are. This is what we're doing. And this is what we are still doing. And this is what we're still doing. And this is what we hope to be doing. And I'll try to go through those as fast as I can. So I can have the next slide, please, Kathy. Thank you. Well, here we are. We're at the American Rescue Plan Act, and it was put in effect on the 11th of 2021. And it specifically helped businesses in regards to all types of programs. And one of the things that SBA does have is we have a lot of programs, and that's good and that's bad, but it's good because we try to make sure we try to help all the small businesses that we can. So can we have the next slide, please? We have the Paycheck Protection Program. That's been very, very successful, and that was started on the prior administration. We have the debt relief on the 7A 504 microloan program. We have the Economic Issue Disaster Loan target, EID advance, and it's coming soon as the supplemental target, EID advance. And then we have the Shuttered Venue Operations Grants, which is we just opened up, and then we have coming the Restaurant Revitalization Grant. So we have stuff that we always have. We got new stuff, and we got new stuff going. Can I have the next slide, please? This is what we've done. We expanded the eligibility and how funds can be used, and these have been expanded to the end of May, by the way, so that if you want a PPP loan, go to your lender. They can still submit us to us, and they're available to you, and you can go up to. It depends on the type of loan, but they can be anywhere from 150,000 up to I think it's still up to 5 million now. But and the EDI advanced loan was subtracted from the loan forgiveness. That ran out after 2 weeks. It was in effect. So go ahead to the next slide. So this is what we do. We provide this information. You provide this information to us, and you provide it actually to your borrower. And the borrower takes that information and decides to. Based on the ones that you told him how many employees you got, what their payroll is, and so on and so forth. And let's just say your payroll for the period that's involved is, let's say it's $1 million, and the bank will loan you that $1 million. And if you use that $1 million the way it's supposed to be used, and everyone so far has done that, that'll be forgiven. So it's a very great program, and since its inception, I know it doesn't say this on the slide, but I think we have saved over 50 million with an M jobs through the PPP program. So we're very proud of what we've done with that. Next slide, please. Okay, you must have been in business since February 15, 2020. I just said you can proceeds to be linked between 8 and 24 weeks. Any types of entities are eligible, covered expenses are expanded. And again, you can apply to May 31st, or unless they extend it or the appropriations are exhausted. And they have not been done so far. When the first PPP ran out in 2 weeks, but that's another story for another day. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is how it's eligible, and it's all types of businesses. I think I mentioned that before. See what they are. If you are not sure, all you do is call us and contact us, and we will tell you that it would be an eligible small business. Next slide, please. Total, the loan amount now is up to 2 million. Originally it was 10 million, it's at 2 million. And you can get the first draw and second three cover periods, they can't overlap between the first and second. Must demonstrate at least 25% reduction in gross receipts between the comparative quarters in 2019 and 2020. Next slide, please. How are they done? Find a PPP lender, complete the application. They send the information to SBA. SBA determines that it's eligible, and then within an 8 to 12 week period, after you've utilized the funds, they will send you the information as to how to verify that you use them. Next slide, please. And you have a fixed rate of 1% on the ones that you did not use. There's no requirement for collateral, personal guarantees, no fees, no repayment penalties. You have 5-year maturity if you do not use the funds. Otherwise, the funds would be given and you pay nothing. And hopefully you have kept your business in business and kept your employees on the payroll. Next slide, please. Forgiveness, I already told you about that through the lender. And the advances are no longer deducted from the PPP loan forgiveness payment. Expenses that you can use. There's expensive payments under the curve, and the forgiveness applications for 150 and under are usually go through within a week or two. And the forgiveness loans are not federally tax linked, so that's another plus. Next slide. Economic and disaster loans, the IDLs. These are the difference between these and the PPP. The PPP loans were made from banks to the small business. Economic injury loans are made from the SBA disaster program to the business, and these have been extended till the 31st of 2021. So they're going to be available the rest of the year. And I say to you, if you have not used this program, you should. It's unbelievable because you can get up to $500,000 now in this program, okay? And it's for 30 years. The interest rate is 3.75, and you don't have to start paying 2 years. I like to call this program manna from heaven. So please take advantage of it. Next slide, please. And these, it's here 24 months, okay? Maximum 500,000. I've already indicated that. You do not have to submit an increased request. We are now in the process of going back. This is very important. We're going back to all of the EIDL recipients and asking them if they would like to determine if they could now get more funds than before. Because at first was for 24 months, then it was for 12 months and 18-24. So it's just a great program. I can't emphasize that more to anyone. And as the saying goes, if you don't get it, shame on you, because it's there, you earned it, you deserve it, you should get it. Next slide, please. And we have the relief programs. These are the programs that we've already done. These are our regular 7A loans, our 504 loans, our microloan borrowers. All of these loans that were made in this period of time, okay, are being given certain types of reliefs. And it's important that you should be aware of this because you will not have to pay the principal and interest payments for, I believe it's for the first year. And then they're probably going to extend that too. So that's another program that's there. So not only do you lend the money, we don't ask you to pay it back to us for at least 2 years. So next slide, please. And as I said, there's no action required on you. We will contact you. And then we have new programs and economic aid programs that are there for the again the EIDL, and they give you more advantage. You get a full 10,000 immediately, and then we'll determine whether there's any other funds you can get. And this is all done from us to you. So next slide. So what items you need to verify quality? You gotta have federal tax returns. That's always nice. INN, SNN, and number is specified. This is one of the things that are required. You have to have monthly gross receipts 2019, 2020, completed months in 2021. You have to confirm the information is original application still accurate, and you must be eligible and required to sign a 456T for the SBA to take. We're going to obtain your tax receipts, tax transcripts for. We're going to confirm what the information you've given. So next slide. Prior yellow advances, submissions, and said from the bank will review the bank information if you provide it. Our information is 100% due to limit target advance funds and will not be able to make a reconsideration. Our goal is to process complete within 21 days. Not bad for a federal agency. And we'll give you an answer within 21 days. And if you have any questions, you target advance@sba.gov. And if approved, you will receive an email and deposit the funds in your bank will be provided. Next slide, please. And this is the newest program. I have to laugh because every month, every week, we'll be getting a new program. It's called the Shuttered Venue Operations Program. This is why we're going to provide over 16 billion. That's with a B. Total available maximum grants up to $10 million per entity. And I think the best way to describe this is a perfect example of this would be the Shea Buffalo. And if you read today's paper, there's a big article on how they're going to start in the fall. And it's my understanding that this grant that they will get will allow them to do that. Otherwise, they would have closed and opened the Shea. But it's for theatrical producers, live performers, music operators, entities involved with any type of entertainment, a band, a group, and you must have been in operation as February 29, 2020. And we opened the applications on the 8th of this month, or this week rather, and they're coming in fast and furious. Could I have the next slide? Okay, so these are the new programs for the American Rescue Plan, Relief Assistance for Hardest Hit Industry and Business. We're doing a supplemental target ED by advanced program. And this is $5 billion for $5,000 payments to those hardest hit. This would be your smallest businesses. And then, of course, we had a new one called the Restaurant Revitalization Funds and Grants. And this is another $28.6 billion grants and eligible entities in this hard industry. Maximum of this program will be $5 million grant, location, an aggregate maximum of 10 million grants, depending on how many restaurants you have. And then we also have the Community Navigator pilot program that hasn't been started yet, but this is going to provide $100,000 million grants to eligible organizations to improve access to the pandemic assistance programs. All these programs that we have need assistance, and I think what Glenn Oswald indicated that they're one of our resource partners that do it, and because there's such a demand, that we're going to try to reach out to other organizations to try to help them help the small businesses. There's going to be 75 million support outreach efforts to try to get it, so make it as easy as possible to get these programs and these grants. Next slide, please. So these are the key takeaways. We've got the payroll protection program, we've got relief SBA 785 reform worker loan, we've got the economic injury disaster loan, REIDL advance. We've got coming soon, supplemental targeted EID advance. We've got the Shuttered Amendment Grant program, which is opening now. And we got the plumbing and restaurant revitalization grant. So if you think there's a program we missed, let me know, because I don't think so. But we'd be happy to take that into consideration. And I think, is that the end of my slides? Yes. Thank you, and I hope we completely confused you. If we have, please contact us. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Frank. And yes, and like Lynn Oswald said earlier, if there's a question, you reach out to any one of us, we can make sure that you get the answers that you need. And if you have a question, don't forget that Q&A panel at the bottom of the screen. Our next presenter is Lori Abinader, Senior Project Manager, Western Region Empire State Development. Take it away, Lori.
Yes, thank you, Michael. And well, good morning to everyone. Pleasure to be here. Give my brief information. Next slide. So Empire State Development, or as we call it, ESD, is New York State's economic development agency. Our mission is to assist businesses as they grow and expand their business through their creation of new jobs and new investment into their facility and into their company. So we do help a variety of businesses. We will help startups all the way to long-established businesses. Even businesses coming to New York State, we are here to help. We can be creative in helping a company be competitive, retain and enlarge their workforce, and just overall be able to grow and expand within New York State. Next slide. So our major program, this is our workhorse program. This is the main program that we tend to use to help businesses. It's called the Excelsior Tax Credit Program, and it is a tax credit that will be a reduction of your New York State income tax liability. This program offers a full suite of tax credits, and the great thing about this is that they are fully refundable tax credits based upon a company's job creation, retention of jobs, and also investment of significant capital into their facility. So, like I said, this is a fully refundable tax credit. So if you as a business have income tax liability, if you do not have or have very little tax liability, this tax credit, whatever is left of the tax credit, comes back to you as a tax refund. So it becomes cash in pocket to the business at the end of the tax year. So that's the great thing about the program. However, nonprofits are not eligible because they do not file taxes within the state. Next slide. So some of the credits that are available through the program, first off is the jobs program, the jobs tax credit. This is a tax credit based upon net new jobs created in New York State. We look at the number of jobs you're creating, the gross wages paid to those jobs, and we determine a tax credit value based upon that amount. We can give up to 6.85% of the gross wages paid to those new jobs. And I say up to because it is discretionary, the amount of the tax credit that we will offer the company. But needless to say, anything to reduce your tax liability is very helpful. Next is the investment tax credit. The investment tax credit is valued at 2% of the qualified investments made into the business. Qualified investments are any type of tangible property, whether it's machinery and equipment into the facility itself. Now, some manufacturers may know that the investment tax credit is a standard 5% for manufacturers in New York State. However, that 5% is non-refundable. So the ITC through the Excelsior program is 2% that is fully refundable. So again, that means quicker money back into the pockets of the businesses. And then there's also a research and development tax credit available through the Excelsior program. So if you as a business are taking the federal R&D tax credit through the state, you can take 50% of the amount that you're taking of the federal R&D tax credit as your state Excelsior R&D tax credit. And the max amount is up to 6% of your R&D expenditures. Next slide. So ESD has identified key industries that qualify for the Excelsior program, and we have set minimum job creation requirements for each of these industries. So this is basically the minimum eligibility requirements for the program. So as you can see, there's a whole host of industries that qualify. Unfortunately, retail and service industries do not qualify at this time, but for the most part, most of the major industries across New York State are covered under the program, and also the minimum job pretty well. 5 jobs to be created is the minimum requirement for most of the industries. Some of the industries that require higher job creation requirements do tend to require higher labor employment numbers anyway, so it kind of fits into the industry categories anyway. Next slide. So another program that the state has to offer is called the Link Deposit Program, and this program helps a company obtain reduced rate financing through a financial institution. So it's not a loan program. What it is basically the reduced rate comes from a deposit that the New York State puts into the bank. So the way it works is New York State will put a deposit for the same amount as your loan into the bank that you are getting your loan from, and the New York State will forego the interest income on that loan deposit and transfer that interest rate to your loan, and reduces your loan interest rate amount by the amount of the bank deposit interest rate. So this way, you get a reduction of your interest on your loan, and that way you save on the future loan payment to the bank. So at the end of the Link Deposit Assistance, the bank returns the deposit amount without any interest income to New York State, and then you will get savings on your loan amount. The Link Deposit can last up to 4 years, and the maximum loan amount is up to $2 million. Next slide. So there are some pretty broad qualifications to apply for the Link Deposit Program. Basically, eligible borrowers include manufacturing firms with 500 or fewer full-time employees, so pretty much any manufacturer in New York State can apply for this program. Also, service businesses do qualify for Link Deposit, so long as the business is independently owned and operated and has less than 100 employees within New York State. Not eligible right now are startup businesses, and that's not up to us really. Banks tend to shy away from lending to startups because they have no sales or employment. So therefore we cannot help a startup through this program. And then also, this is only for companies that are headquartered within New York State. So businesses outside of New York State cannot apply for this program. And it's very easy to apply for this program. Basically, all you got to do is when you go to your financial institution, whether it's a commercial bank or savings and loans or your Farm Credit Bureau, whatever the case may be, you just tell your loan officer that you want to apply for Link Deposit, and they do all the work. You know, your loan will go through its typical underwriting procedure, and then the loan, your lender will make sure that the application is filled out, They send it to ESD, and then we approve it, and that's how it goes. It's very simple. Next slide. And then there is a loan program available through New York State. This is called the New York Forward Loan Fund. So this was created basically in reaction to the pandemic. This program, this loan program is aimed at small businesses, nonprofits, and other and also small landlords within New York State as they reopen after the COVID-19 outbreak and after New York State was put on pause. So small businesses and nonprofits employing 20 or fewer full-time employees can qualify for this program. Also, small businesses and nonprofits that have gross revenues or an annual operating budget of less than $3 million can qualify. And also small landlords can also apply for this program so long as they can prove they have a loss of rental income. So this loan program can be used towards working capital. Examples of uses include purchasing new inventory, putting together marketing efforts to let your community know that you are reopened for business. Also for refitting your operation for the new social distancing guidelines as set by New York Forward. Be able to have people walk through your door. So originally this program was for businesses that did not receive PPP or the EIDL through the SBA. However, that has changed. That is open up now. So if you did receive a PPP loan of no greater than $50,000, or if you did receive an EIDL loan, but you did not receive a grant of up to $10,000, you can apply for the New York Forward Loan Fund. And again, this is also very easy to apply for. Many of the major banks within do participate in the New York Forward Loan Fund, M&T, HSBC, Citizens, Evans Bank, they all participate within the New York Forward Loan Fund. So there is a pre-application available on the ESD website, and very easy to apply for, and it doesn't take very long to get approval as well. And I'll be happy to answer questions later.
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate that very much. Next up, Dennis Martinez, Regional Coordinator for Business Engagement at Access VR. Dennis, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about Access VR. Access VR is part of the workforce development system. VR being vocational rehabilitation, and vocational rehabilitation, or VR for short, has been around for 100 years. It celebrated its 100th anniversary last year. We have a sister organization that is called the New York State Commission for the Blind. You can sort of figure out what they do by their name. Next slide. Access VR serves two customers. We serve people with disabilities and the business community. With people with disabilities, we work to remove the barriers to employment through a lot of different services, through counseling and training, education. We sponsor people in 2- and 4-year degree programs and sometimes master's degrees for all kinds of occupations. On the business side, we partner with business to help business find good employees. And that last bullet point on the slide there is that we place over 13,000 people a year in jobs throughout New York State. Next slide, please. We provide a no-cost recruitment for pre-screened applicants. We have a local network of support. We work with Don Jablonski and all the other one-stops throughout Western New York. The Buffalo District Office of Access VR works with 8 counties. We provide also no-cost training on disability issues for employers, anybody actually who's interested in these things, for disability awareness, disability etiquette. We are certified trainers through the ADA Resource Center at Cornell University. Next slide, please. Our business services are such that we can help with the recruitment of qualified applicants. Of course, our services are free, and we can offer various incentives to help the business community in the hiring process. And the incentives we offer come in two forms. One are federal and New York State tax credits, and the other are wage reimbursement programs. And our wage reimbursement programs are called Work Tryout, or WTO, and on-the-job training, OJT. And if you're familiar with the OJTs that Don Jablonski talked about, ours are similar in some ways, but different in others. Next slide, please. Our New York State and federal tax incentives are the ones that are listed there. The two most popular ones are the WOTC, or the WOTC, is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, which is a federal tax credit that is based upon a worker's employment during the first year. It's 40% of the wages, the first $6,000 of wages earned during the first year. So it would be a maximum of $2,400. And then the Workers with Disabilities Employment Tax Credit, or the WETC, is a New York State tax credit, and that's based on employment during the second year, and that's up to $2,100. So a business could realize tax credits over a 2-year period of up to $4,500. The other tax credits we won't go into in detail, but there are, at the end of this presentation, there are links to the websites for those so you can learn more about them. Next slide, please. Our Work Tryout is our premier wage reimbursement program. It's the one that's the easiest to access. And the reason for that is it's based upon trying a job. There are no strings, there are no expectations. You put the individual on your workforce and we reimburse, you're eligible for reimbursement of 100% of their gross wages for up to 480 hours, which is roughly 3 months at full-time, 40 hours a week. And that Work Tryout, again, is focused on trying. So we have no expectations. If you find that this individual is a good employee, a good fit for the job, and you keep them on, you get the 100% of their gross wages reimbursed to you. But for if any reason they're not a good fit, the wage reimbursement is still yours. Of course, we're assuming, and we have confidence that they will be, but sometimes it doesn't work out and the employer still gets the wage reimbursement. Next slide, please. And the on-the-job training program is similar to the others around there, but ours is a little bit different because it's 100% wage reimbursement of the individual's gross wages over a period of up to 26 weeks, which works out to 6 months. It's based upon the individual's ability to acquire the necessary skills to achieve job competency. And, we use the ONET online to determine a reasonable training period. 6 months is the maximum, but we try to tailor it to the specific job. If for any reason the training goes beyond the 6 months, and that's a justified reason, then the reimbursement rate falls to 50%, but it's still a pretty good deal. Next slide. And then lastly, we help people with disabilities start their own businesses. Access VR can assist an individual with a disability to start their own business by contributing towards startup costs in terms of equipment, supplies, and services up to $11,000. And I must say that we're very proud of this program. We've put a lot of people into successful businesses, doing a lot of different things, from bakeries to therapeutic hula hooping to people that keep up cemetery plots for people who can't get out to do it for their loved ones, to a gentleman that we just helped that does podcasts and video recording. So it's a real diverse type of an operation, and we're very proud of that. Next slide, please. And these are the resource links, and you'll get a copy of the slide deck so that at your leisure, you can take a look at the WOTC and the WETC and the other tax credits. And I believe that's the last slide. And if you have any questions, you can let me know, put it in the chat box. I have to leave now, but Mike and can send me your questions later. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dennis. We appreciate that very much. In our 3 cities, we've got some great resources that are available to you. We're going to start with Tom Tedesco, who's the Executive Director of the NFC Development Corporation in the city of Niagara Falls. Tommy, the floor is yours.
Yes, thanks, Mike. Hi, I'm Tommy Tedesco, as Mike said. I'm the Executive Director of the NFC Development Corporation and also the Business Development Director here for the city of Niagara Falls. Simply, what is the NFC Development Corp? It is the city's banking lending arm. We have a variety of grants and loan programs here. If you do have a project in the city of Niagara Falls, please reach out to us. We could assist you with your new project, expansion project. We assist industrial projects, retail, for-profit commercial businesses. I'll just go over the micro grant real quickly. That's one of our most popular grants, if you will. It's a micro grant, 5 employees or less, up to $10,000, and we're basically here to bridge your only gap, if you will. So again, please feel free, if you have a project in the city of Niagara Falls, my number is up there. Please reach out to our department here. We will assist you and walk you through the process. A couple weeks back, Governor Cuomo mentioned a max COVID vaccine, masks on sites, and we're happy to announce that the city of Niagara Falls has a mass COVID vaccine site here in the city. It's currently being held at the conference center in our downtown. It's at 101 Old Fall Street. So if you haven't had a chance to get your vaccine there, please feel free. It's a great operation there that they have. For more information and to register, you go to ny.gov, and you'll see the COVID-19 vaccine information. Click on that link there, and you could register there at that site. Lastly, if the Easter week is any indication of the summer, I think that Niagara Falls is going to have a great summer. It was very, very busy here in our downtown. Many of the tourists are slowly coming back, and I think we're going to have a great summer here in Niagara Falls. So that's it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that very much. Next up is I believe Michael Zimmerman, Executive Director of the Lumber City Development Corp. And if Mike, I don't know if I see Mike on there. Are you on, Mike?
I am. I don't know if you can see me, which is probably for the best, but I am.
Okay. Well, so everyone recognizes those dulcet tones when they hear the commercials on the radio.
Thank you.
The floor is yours, Mike.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everybody. Mike Zimmerman, I'm the Executive Director of Lumber City Development. We are the economic development organization for the city of North Tonawanda. if you are in business in NT or looking to expand and then considering potential locations in North Tonawanda, please reach out to us. We've got our contact information there. Our goal is to really be your kind of point agency in person for assisting you getting open or expanding here in North Tonawanda, whether it's through something local with the city, the approvals process, or any of the resource partners that you saw today to help you through any of those processes. Lumber City also has some capabilities to assist directly, whether it's some assistance financing programs that might be able to help you. We are a small commercial lender capable of assisting with your project. We have a micro enterprise grant program of our own that can assist startups or very small businesses who are potentially expanding. And we're always looking to expand that program. We are also currently applying for and hoping by this summer to have a pot of funding that is specific to COVID relief assistance. The uses of that we anticipate will be relatively flexible, but would assist in getting your business, if you've slowed down or closed at all because of COVID, staff back up to full capacity, whether it's working capital needs, whether it's specific needs to help you be compliant with social distancing and COVID measures. That program we're hoping to be very flexible and which should be available this summer. So if that's something that's of interest to you, please contact us right away so we can kind of get you in the queue. And yeah, if there's any assistance needed for a business that's looking to move into NT or is located in NT, we are happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that very much. Also with us today from the City of Lockport and the Greater Lockport Development Corporation is Heather Peck, Vice President of GLDC. Heather, take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to be with you. And thanks, Mike, for putting this together. It was very interesting for me as well, and nice to see some familiar faces after, I think, about a year of not. So thanks for having me. I'm also filling in for Brian Smith, who is our president. So Brian says hello to everybody as well. The Greater Lockport Development Corporation is the economic development arm of the City of Lockport. Our mission is to support existing businesses here in the city and also, of course, to encourage new startups as well. So if you are or know of a business or a property owner in the City of Lockport, or certainly looking to locate in the city, please get in contact with us. We're here to help. We have several programs available that are funded through the state of New York to assist you. And rather than going through those programs, we just probably encourage you to get in touch with us directly. That way we can assess an individual property owner or business's needs. That's probably the best way to do that. And either meet with you virtually or meet with you one-on-one, and hopefully, come up with the best program. Or if we can't help you directly, put you in contact with one of our partners that may be able to assist you directly as well. We're also in the process of applying for several new programs. And as you heard in today's presentations from our number of partners, there are a lot that are coming out, and a lot probably more that are coming out. So we're trying to stay on top of those programs that are becoming available and trying to bring some of those programs here into the city. So please, if you have been in touch with us in the past, we continue to ask you to continue to reach out to us so that as new programs become available, we can make you aware of those as well. We're trying to constantly update our contact list and do a better job of continuing to outreach to our clients. So we're here to help. So our contact information is on the screen. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime, either to myself or again to our president, Brian Smith. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Heather. And like Heather says, with this group of people, and by the way, the Town of Lockport Industrial Development Agency is another great agency. I think Tom Sy had to leave us. He had an emergency to take care of. But there's Tom's contact information. If you're doing a project in the Town of Lockport, you go ahead and reach out to Tom Tsai, and he'll do whatever he can to assist you. As Heather said, this group that you heard from today is the Economic Development Alliance group. We work together, and like Lynn Oswald said, if you contact one of us, you're going to get to all of us. We can help you maximize the incentives and programs. And a good example would be, just off the top of my head, in the city of North Tonawanda, when Woodcock Brothers moved out there, Lumber City was there. We were there with Empower Niagara. The state was there with some assistance as well. So we'd like to maximize, the incentive package to help you get on your feet and running and creating jobs and retaining jobs, et cetera, et cetera. That's what it's all about. Now, this part of the program is for question and answer. So I'm going to turn it over. And by the way, Heather said, thank you, Mike, for setting this up. I got to say thank you to Kathy Sinor, my confidential assistant, because she's the one that set this thing up. So Kathy, thank you. And Kathy, are there any questions that we need to address?
We do have just a couple of comments about a business owner that's looking to get into the area. I would say, you're going to get the slides. We detailed what each entity does, and I would encourage him to reach out to them directly, and we will be able to answer any questions that he has.
Okay.
May I jump in before you do any more Q&A? I noticed that one of the participants on the call is John Donner, and I did want to give a shout out to him. John is working with my center to provide free pro bono legal services, business legal services to eligible businesses. He's doing that directly through us by appointment, and he's going to be setting up some virtual drop-in clinics. That information will be coming soon. We'll definitely share it with Kathy so she can get it out to everyone. So if you're looking for some free pro bono legal services, which are very hard to come by when it comes to businesses, give my office a call, 210-2515, and we'll see if we can get you connected.
Lynn, thanks for jumping in on that. Kathy, are there any more questions?
That's all for today, Mike.
Well, once again, thanks to all of our presenters today. I really appreciate your time. I wanted to let our participants know that when you leave this session, you're going to get a survey that'll appear in a new window on your internet browser. We would really appreciate any and all comments that you have because we're going to be doing a few more of these workshops, and your input will definitely be taken into account. So thanks again to all our presenters. Thanks for those who attended. We hope to see you at a future event. So long, everybody.
Bye-bye.